Welcome to Energetic Advantage, the podcast where energy isn't woo, it's your edge. I'm your host, Jessica Serrato, intuitive strategist, lifelong pattern decoder, lover of numbers, and energetic guide for visionary leaders. Around here, we go energy first, strategy second. Every episode will give you a perspective, a tool, or a timeline shift that helps you lead from your power. Because the truth is, your energy is your most undervalued asset until you learn how to use it. Get ready, you're about to have the advantage. Let's begin. Hey, welcome back. Before we jump into the March energy forecast, I just want to tell you this. I told you so, I told you so, I told you so. Listen, I'm laughing, but I'm also serious. February has flown by. It has gone by so quickly. And even though I knew that was going to happen, listen to the February energy forecast, it still surprises me just how accurate these energy forecasts are. And for me right now, it seems to be so related to this fire horse energy. And it is this difference, right? Depending on how it's been feeling for you. If you think about a horse and how it starts off walking, as it gets faster and faster, it moves into a canter and then eventually a gallop. Now, if you've ever ridden a horse, or I guess if you haven't, I'm going to try to explain what the difference is between cantering and galloping. Cantering is where the horse is moving quickly, but his legs are closer together, and you are basically jumping up and down in the saddle, holding on for dear life, unless you're a good rider, which obviously I am not. Right? But this is where you see the riders on the horse having to move their body up and down to go with the flow of the canter. And here is where some of us are at right now. We're moving quickly, but it feels really uncomfortable. It feels like we're bumping up and down, and we have a choice. Do we want to slow down to a walk, or do we want to go a little bit faster so we get into that smooth energy of the gallop? Right? The gallop is where the legs start to really go out wide. It becomes a smoother ride. You can actually sit in the saddle. And many times when we're galloping, it feels like time is suspended. Just imagine this horse running down the beach, right? It is this choice when we're in a canter, whether to go for the gallop or to go back and walk. A choice is a choice, and it is ours to make. But I just wanted to share that because I know you'll be hearing this while we're still in February on the way to March. The amount of insane synchronicities that have been happening for both me and my clients is just wild. Like, we really did go beyond logic in February. And also right now, if you're like, what the heck is she talking about? Go back a few episodes where I did my February energy forecast. And I invite you to see how that matched up with your experience of the month. Because now, at this threshold for this new month, we are heading into March. So heading into March, I want to always ground it into our mind so we can put our mind at ease here and allow ourselves to open up to the energetics. The energy of March is the 4. And if I were to put this on your body, it would be at the base. I grew up in Pennsylvania, and it's called the Keystone State because there are a lot of keystone bridges there. If you can imagine these big stone bridges that are like arcs over the waterway, there is one stone at the base of the bridge right in the middle, which they call the keystone. That is the number 4 for me. It sits at the base of the energetic plane, and it is a very physical number, and it is a mixture of feminine and masculine. So if we combine this energy with the 1 that we're experiencing this year, which is also physical, just a tad more feminine, there is no wonder why things are going to feel really real this month. It's all about the tangible this month. So I'm going to take you through the big themes that I'm feeling. And like always, I love to hear from you. What's resonating with you? So send me a message on Instagram, email me, whatever works best for you. But I want to know how this lands. And even more importantly, what you're going to do with it as we head into the month. So to start off with one of the big themes, I'm going to try to say this how I wrote it, which, by the way, was in all capital letters. Show me the receipts, right? This energy of give it to me in physical form. Show me the results. Don't just tell me. Don't just wish. Don't just hope. Don't just pray, right? It's about the materialization of things coming into form. And this ties into one of the big themes for the year. This is where I felt it. This was the anchor point for 2026, is the moving away from this old view or old knowing of manifestation and moving into more materialization. So, manifestation, I'm sure you've heard it. It's internal. It's the frequency. It's the vision. It's the alignment. And materialization is the physical. It's the receipt of the manifestation, right? It's when, the thing exists in the real world, whatever that is for you. And in 2026, the energy, this physical energy, especially this month, is not going to be impressed by vibes alone. It's going to ask you for receipts, not to prove yourself to anybody and even to yourself, but because right now we need to build on reality. Visionary leaders don't just see the future, they bring it into form. And so this month, March, I can use all the sayings. Put your money where your mouth is. Show me the receipts. It's all about, okay, in reality, in tangible form, let's grow it. Let's build it. It's time to move out of the mind and into the physical. And what does this require? Structure. Sorry to say, for those of you who I will say, you maybe have a story that you don't like structure. But this month, it is a requirement. And the structure, the form of the structure that I am feeling right now is the soil. If you feel into the energy of the soil, it is now up to us to discern if what we are wanting to grow, if our soil is structured or is strong enough to help it grow to its fullest potential. And this soil, this March energy right now, it's so fertile. And it's really meant for us to grow what is next. I've said this before, but I just want to anchor in of why now. These last 9 years, 2017 to 2025, were a lot for a lot of people. And a lot of things burned down, right? But they weren't failures. Think of it like compost. Everything that cracked, collapsed, or fell apart was breaking down so something more honest could grow. And right now, if you've done the work, you've kind of alchemized that compost into this soil. And now is the time to really get honest about what your soil looks like. And we're going to look at it both ways, okay? Because March is really going to show you whether your soil is fertile or not. Okay, because whenever you try to grow something in a soil that isn't matched to what you're trying to grow, you're going to struggle. I'll say it this way, I'm not a great gardener, but I have enough knowledge to know that when I plant and redo our front yard and our backyard, there are a lot of different soils to choose from. We're going to use different soil if I'm going to use that soil to plant vegetables that my family and I are going to eat, versus if I'm using that soil to fill in the hole that my dog dug, right? It doesn't mean that all of our soil needs to be of the utmost quality. It means that it needs to match what we are going to plant there. And if you're noticing that your soil isn't quite ready, here's going to be your choice point. Are you going to work on getting the soil nurtured and up to the, fertileness, if that's a word, that will be able to hold and grow what it is you want to plant? Or are you going to look at the soil and be like, I'm not sure, but I'm going to plant anyway? And this actually will be your biggest choice point in March. March is the fork in the road. March has a very strong fork in the road energy, where there are going to be a lot of choices such as this. And yes, it is important to look at what the decisions are. But more importantly, in March, I want you to ask the question, who is choosing this? Okay. So instead of asking, what am I choosing or what am I deciding? I want you to ask, who is choosing this? And here's what I mean by this. Who is choosing this? Is it you? Is it a past version of you? Is it little girl or little boy you? Is it a future version of you? Is it your mom? Is it your partner? Is it your coach? Is it random strangers on the internet? Is it your kids, right? There are so many times in this life where without even knowing it, we outsource our power and let others choose or influence our choices and unintentionally, sometimes intentionally, make them for us. So again, it's not about what you are choosing this month, although that is secondary. Primary is really knowing and being sure of who is choosing this. And, it's not so obvious, right? Sometimes when we allow others to influence our choices, they're not literally coming to us and saying, you should choose this, not that. It comes in the form of pressure. It comes in the form of urgency. It comes in the form of expectations or that we didn't agree to, right? And so this month is about reclaiming your power to choose. And right or wrong, the good result or bad result, quote unquote, it will feel better if you choose it. I'm laughing. I just remembering a story of every time we do plant in the spring, I let my kids each pick something totally on their own. I say, whatever you want to choose to plant, I'll help you plant it. And 2 summers ago, Charlie chose a watermelon. And I was unsure of if this thing could actually grow in the soil we had, if it can grow in the environment where we lived. And part of me just really wanted her choice to be successful. I didn't want her to pick something that I knew wouldn't grow. But she said the most amazing thing. She said, well, if it grows or not, I'm not really worried about. I just want to be able to choose and give it the best chance to grow. And so with that in mind, we chose the container, we chose the soil, we researched how best to make this watermelon grow. And wouldn't you freaking know it, we got watermelons that year. Not 1, not 2. I think we actually maybe got 4. And it just goes to show you that if I had influenced her choice and made her choose something more sensible, perhaps, like tomatoes that I know grow really well in our backyard, it wouldn't have mattered if we grew thousands of tomatoes. It wouldn't have felt successful to her because she actually didn't choose it. She let my opinions and my feelings come into it. And so I'm so glad she didn't. I'm so glad we got watermelons, right? And so when we really feel into this, reclaiming our own power to choose, this requires orientation. And this is one of the next big themes of March, which is the weather vane, right? This north, south, east, west. We hear the term so much, true north, true north. Know your true north. True north does not mean that you always have to walk in that direction. But having a true north helps you know where north is so you can choose the direction that you want. I'm laughing. I'm sitting here recording this in my home, which is at the base of beautiful mountains in North Vancouver, BC. And they're north, right? And so if I get lost, which I may be ashamed to admit it, but not really. If I get lost in the woods, say when I'm walking Dozer or even hiking sometimes with my kids, I always find north. I always look for the mountains. But This does not mean that I then walk towards the mountains, because guaranteed going more into the mountains is not going to help me find my way. But I use it to orient myself, and I say, okay, there's north. So then I know we need to go east, or I know we need to go south, or I know we need to go west. And so when we orient ourselves and when we plan and when we anchor in to what we truly want, it is important to use these 4 directions, these 4 elements, right? Fire, earth, air, and water. But we're not using it as a map. We're using it as a compass. And I want you to feel into this. A map assumes that the terrain is fixed, right? If you're using a map to figure out where you're going, it assumes that the roads won't change, that the weather is going to cooperate, that nothing unexpected will appear, and that you'll want to go exactly where you thought you did when you made the plan. Maps are really great when you're traveling a route that has already been paved, that has already been traveled by someone else. But let's be honest. Well, I know if you're listening to this podcast, you aren't doing that. You're paving your own path. You're trailblazing your own way. We're navigating evolving businesses and lives, changing desires, shifting energy, new identities, seasons that we've never lived before. And so a map is just not going to cut it. So Jess, what the heck am I going to use if I don't have a map? A compass. A compass doesn't tell you where to go. It tells you how to stay oriented no matter where you are. So again, you can lose a map, you can outgrow a map. A map can be obsolete overnight, but a compass works when the path disappears. A compass works in the fog, right? A compass works when you change your mind on the direction you're going, because we don't follow a compass, we consult it. And this is the difference. A compass gives you the decision-making criteria to choose the direction where you want to go right now. And so if you're feeling like you are lacking direction right now, instead of asking, should I quit this? Ask, what anchor, what direction does this need more of? Instead of asking yourself, why can't I just stick to my plan? You can ask, where am I misoriented a little bit here? And this makes you faster at adjusting. It makes you less emotionally reactive. It makes you more consistent over time because it reduces decision fatigue. It prevents overcorrection, and it keeps you in momentum without burnout. Logistically, a compass will save you time because you are not constantly rebuilding from scratch. You always know where you are. And if you know where you are, even though where you're going can change, you will never be lost. You will never be lost. Here's the reframe that I invite you to take into March. A map tries to predict the future. A compass is preparing you to meet it. A map tells you what should happen, and a compass helps you to respond to where you are and what is happening. A map is all about control, and a compass, yep, you guessed it, is about leadership. So before you put anything on the calendar in March, or if you're like me, planning even further ahead, you need a compass. Because when you know your center, when you know what anchors you, you can adjust any plan without losing yourself. Most people that experience burnout are planning from the edges. They're planning from deadlines, expectations, pressure, and then they wonder why it feels off. But we're going to do the opposite. I want you to place you at the center. I want you to set those 4 energetic anchors around you: the north, the south, the east, and west, the fire, the air, the water, the wind. And I want you to plan from that orientation. The 4 elements are going to bring you strong information this month. And of course, we all know that we each have unique energy, and we are coded very differently with the elements. And so some elements may feel more natural to you. Some may feel a little bit challenging, but it's important to know and anchor in to what these points are for you, again, so you can orient yourself, so you and your values and what you care about are the center, and you're creating the compass so you will never be lost. And why we're putting ourselves at the center brings me to this next theme, which is the biggest receipt. You know how we started this, show me the receipts. The biggest receipt that you will get this month is your body, your nervous system, your capacity, your structure, your support. And if your body is not on board, if your body, going back to that soil analogy, if your body is not taken care of, if you are not nurturing the soil in which you are trying to plant new things in, it does not matter how good the idea is. It does not matter how amazing the seed is. It will not grow. And what it will actually do is probably suck the remaining nutrients out of your soil, out of your body. You know, your body is always talking to you. And like, I'm laughing, literally. Your stomach grumbling or growling, right, tells you that you're hungry. But these messages this month might be a little bit more subtle. What does it mean when my left toe hurts? Right? What does it feel when I have an itchiness on the right side of my body? What does it feel like when I have a fluttering in my stomach? And these are all energetic signs, but they're also physical cues, which is why in the next episode, I bring on a hormone specialist to talk about hormones as messengers, energetic and physical in our body, and what you can really do to listen to your body this month. But, you know, right now, the encouragement is to actively listen, because you can tune in and actively listen. If you don't, your body will get louder and louder and louder. And perhaps I will serve as a cautionary tale here today. You might literally fall down and break your ass. Last December, my goodness, December of 2024 now, I fell on stairs and I broke my tailbone. And it was the only thing that slowed me down, because I refused to listen to any, and there were a lot of the signs that my body was telling me to slow down before that moment. So please listen before you break your ass. Please. Now, yes, your body is yours, but you don't need to do it alone. And so this next energetic theme that the 4 has is structure. A big theme this year, and especially this month, is about choosing the right support. And yes, this means like real life support, people in your life, environments in your life, the things around you that surround you, both energetically and also physically. And we know this, right? This is not anything new. But I'm going to introduce you to a concept today that I would say is just as equally as important as support in this world. It's support in other realms. So I call it the energetic boardroom. And I'm going to share about this theme and then actually help you find yours if that's what you're wanting to do. So a lot of times, and I think a lot of us do this even unintentionally, where you kind of are like, you've tried all the support in the world around you. You've asked a friend, I mean, what was that show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? You phoned a friend, you've used your lifeline, you've polled the audience, you've done all the things. And it's like, you just put your hands in the air and you're like, okay, universe, what should I do? But that's backwards, because it's like shouting into a crowded room and like hoping that the right voice answers. Here's the reframe that I want to give you today. You don't just have one guide. You have a team of guides. And your job is not to get more guidance. It's to organize it. And so the problem with kind of just asking your guides or like throwing it up to the universe is that I think a lot of us might think that guides are like one angel, one ancestor, one, I don't know, mystical being floating around waiting to deliver wisdom. But that's like trying to run a business with one employee who is doing everything. Just imagine, think of a big business that you know, or a company, or some place that you go into every day, where they have one employee who's trying to do everything: strategy, execution, finance, HR, marketing, crisis management, customer service. No wonder you're tired. Guides are not just beings, they are also functions. And they have different intelligences, different roles, different strengths. And when you don't consciously assign roles to them, everyone talks at once, right? And that gets confusing. So the image and the theory and the theme that I work with for myself and my clients is that each one of us has an energetic boardroom. And you are the chair, obviously, of your boardroom. And inside that room are different guides, energies, archetypes, aspects of you, whatever language works for you here, each designed to support a specific function. So you might have a visionary or a CEO, which helps you with like longer term direction and big picture thinking. You might have a COO or an operator, who works with like the systems and the structures and the steps. You might have a CFO, right? Who works with money, time, capacity, and energy. You might have a creative director who helps you with your expression and your messaging and ideas. You think of all of these different people that you have in your energetic boardroom. And not all guides need to be present for every decision. And this is the key. Not every guide gets a vote in every meeting. And so this changes things because overwhelm typically doesn't happen because we don't know what to do. It's because we're hearing so many different things from so many different people. And it's like if your CFO is interrupting your creative director inside your head, it's going to get confusing, right? If your longer term vision is trying to interrupt the short term, you see how that gets confusing. So leadership is also knowing who's in the room and who speaks first. So to help you experience this, I'm going to take you through a really quick visualization. If you're driving, if you're walking, you can just listen to this. But if you are in a space where you can close your eyes, you can do that if it feels good. Just be open to what comes through. So I want you to take a breath. Focus in on your breathing here. Each breath taking you directly into the present moment. Every exhale, just releasing what you were doing or have planned to do, just for a few moments here. And when you're ready, I want you to imagine a door in front of you. And beyond that door is your energetic boardroom. I want you to open it and notice the space. There's no wrong answer here. Is it modern? Is it minimal? Does it have furniture or not? Is it warm, expansive? Now I want you to see a chair at the head of the table. That's your chair. And when you're ready, take a seat. Feel what it is like to sit there, not as the one asking for answers, but as the one calling the meeting. And now I want you to look around the room and notice who's already there. Don't force it. Just notice who naturally shows up. And of course, these can be personified, but they don't have to be. You might sense a calm, steady presence, something sharp or more precise, something expansive or bold, an energy that's quiet but deeply grounded. And let them reveal their role to you. And you can ask, what is your job here? What are you here to do? What are you here to support me with? And let the answer come however it comes. Now I want you to look around the room and notice. Is anyone missing? Or depending on what I'm thinking about, who's here that maybe doesn't need to be right now? This is important because as the chair, you get to say, thank you so much, but you're not needed for this meeting. Or, oh, I would really benefit from the support of this. I'm calling you in now. And feel the shift when and if the room reorganizes. And so now, bringing your awareness back to the present moment, I want to share with you how you can use this in your everyday life. Before you start something, whether it's creating something in your business, approaching a conversation, writing, deciding, speaking, whatever it is, I want you to pause. And I want you just to say, I call the boardroom to order. Then I want you to name who's present. And again, this is not business related. This is for parenting, for health, for relationships. You don't need any new guides. You just need clarity of roles. So I'll give you some examples from when I'm working. So when I'm going into a creative meeting, I'm calling in, I'm laughing, should I say their real names? I'm calling in Wanda from marketing, right? I am calling in my interns that have this youthful exuberance about them. And I am telling Nellie to stay the heck out. Because for every creative idea that someone has around the table, she comes in right away and says, how? How do you do that? How is that going to be possible? And for that type of meeting, when I'm brainstorming or creating or I'm in my creative process, I don't need her to be present. In fact, if I allow her to be present, she's going to really disrupt the meeting. And if I'm wanting a hard conversation, I want Russ in the room because he's going to tell me exactly how it is with like no fluff. We're setting this energetic governance by choosing and calling in the support that we need at that moment. Because we know that leadership is not about having all the answers. It's about knowing who to consult, when to consult, and when to close the meeting and decide for yourself. You know, especially this month, we're not here to outsource our authority. You are here to chair the room, gather information, and then make the decision yourself. And going back to the theme of fork in the road, there will be many this month, some bigger, some smaller, but they're all setting us up for what I feel is going to be the most amazing quarter in quarter two, which we have to tend to the soil now so that when that energy comes, we are ready to prosper. We are ready to grow. We are ready to have fun because we are sure of our support, our soil, our structure, and we have the receipts so we know what works. Oh yeah, and our body is going to be on board too. Oh, you know what? Always so much to say, but I'm always cognizant of the time that I know you spend with me here. And I'm so appreciative that you choose to spend your time listening to me. If you want more information about March, specifically when those forks are going to come, what types of decisions, how to use your energetic boardroom more, if you want daily energetic forecast, grab the calendar. It's free for your first month. And I'll put the link in the show notes. Give yourself the support of having the structure ahead of time for March. And if you're thinking right now, oh my gosh, I love these monthly forecasts, but like I want to get them in advance. I want to, my Virgo rising is talking to you. I want to plan for like quarter three right now. How do I do that? Well, in December of every year, I forecast and I record and I have a very huge year ahead forecast event. And if you couldn't make it in this past December, you can still get it now. You can still get the recording, the workbook, the visualization, everything included in that forecast you can get. And it not only details all of the year, month by month, but it also tells you more about your personal energy and how you're meant to interact with it. So I'll put that link in the show notes as well to grab that year ahead forecast. And because I'm saying it now, April and May are my two favorite months of this year, specifically of 2026. I'm so excited for us for that time. I'm also putting on an event for quarter two to specifically go into April, May, and June. And I'm doing that in mid-March. And you can come to the event. It's a group event where you really get clarity in advance of those 3 months and what you can do to harness the energy. And depending on when you're listening to it, I'm also going to add as a surprise the chance to add on a one-on-one session to that event. I only have 9 spots available, so it's hard to tell you if they will be available by the time you hear this forecast, but go to the link in the show notes, join us for the group event, and if there are still spaces available, you can grab a one-on-one session with me to really make sure that your quarter two, your April, May, and June is the best it can be. Thanks again for joining as we really tapped into the energy of March. Take care of you, take care of your body, nurture your soil. I would say here we go, but I'm going to be super cheesy and say here we grow. Get ready. March is here, and I can't wait to ride it with you. Message me, reach out, let me know how this resonates. And if it does, if it helps you in any way, please share with a friend, leave a rating, leave a review, and also let me know what you want to hear on the pod as we move forward. I have some great guests, some great topics, but I also want to do what serves you. So let me know what you want to jam on, and I will see you here the next time. Bye. Thanks for being here inside the Energetic Advantage. If today's episode opened something for you, share it, tag it, or send to the person who popped into your mind. And remember, energy first, strategy second. Your advantage has always been in you. Now it's time to lead with it. See you next time.